Hey, I'm Jocelyn, and we are in Natchez, Mississippi, and this is the eats of Mississippi. So you can't go anywhere in the South without talking about barbecue, and we have had some really great barbecue, specifically here in Natchez. We went to Moo's Barn and Grill, which is kind of a fun play on words, but they had really great stuff, and my kids went crazy for their bread pudding. Bread pudding's another thing you find throughout the South, and we found some really good stuff here in Natchez. One of those great old time things that you won't find all over the place, you don't find it all the time, but was really tasty, is peanuts and Coke. And you put your peanuts inside the Coke bottle and then drink the Coke, and then you get the peanuts at the end. If you ever run across it, you really need to try it, just because it's something very different, and it's not something you find too often anymore, but it used to be a really big thing down here. As with most places on the Mississippi, not just in Mississippi, but a big eat here is catfish. Fried catfish is just an everyday sort of thing that you'll find in a lot of places throughout the state. You'll also find grilled catfish, which personally I like a lot better than fried catfish, but that's just my own personal opinion. Obviously, because we're on the Gulf Coast, shrimp is a big thing. You'll find it all over, and you can probably bet that it's pretty local, and nothing better than fresh local seafood. So try the shrimp while you're here in all its very many forms. Along with shrimp, you'll find a lot of oysters and different oyster dishes. So definitely, even if you don't love oysters or the idea of raw oysters, you might find them fried, or you might find them cooked in
char grilled oysters. That's my go-to. Also, oyster po' boys. That's where it's at. Just FYI.
There you go. Me personally, I really like them raw, but they come in all different forms. So if you're a little trepidatious about just having them raw, try them in some other kind of dish, and you might just be won over. So one of my favorite Southern dishes that you'll find all over Mississippi is boiled peanuts. There is just something special about boiled peanuts. The first time I had them, I thought they were terrible. And then I decided to try them again, and I was won over. And I tell you what, anytime we come to the South, but specifically here in Mississippi, I always get myself some boiled peanuts when they're in season. So another really fun thing that you'll find in Mississippi are pickles that have been pickled in Kool-Aid. It adds a whole nother kind of flavor, and even people who don't really love pickles actually like cool pickles, as some people call them. Anyway, Kool-Aid pickles are definitely a thing, and you should try them out. So two of my favorite things to go with a meal are sweet tea and comeback sauce. Sweet tea is, prevalent all over, and you should have that anytime you're anywhere in the South. But here in Mississippi, something else they do is comeback sauce, and it's mayonnaise with hot chili sauce, and it makes everything tastier. I absolutely love comeback sauce. I make it at home for my family, and you come to Mississippi, you try it, and you will be taking that home and making it at home too. You can never come to Mississippi and not try tamales. I know it sounds kind of funny because you don't think of tamales as something really intrinsic to the South, but it's a big thing here in Mississippi, and we've had several really good variations of tamales. And actually, we went to this really great donut shop called the Donut Shop in Natchez, and they also serve tamales. What a funny combination, but I tell you what, we ate them at the same time, and that sweet and that hot and spicy was just a really great combination. I have to say, though, the tamales here have been a lot smaller than the ones that I typically get in like southwestern states and things, and also in Mexico. So be prepared for that. So if you think you're going to eat 2 or 3 tamales, you might want to order 6 or 8 tamales, just because they're really small here. So best dessert, in my opinion, in Mississippi is Mississippi mud pie. Do I really need to say anything more about that, except that you should have it because it's got Mississippi in the name? So definitely get some Mississippi mud pie whenever you see it on a menu. There's a lot of amazing soul food here in Mississippi. Get cornbread, okra, all sorts of like fried chicken and things like that. You'll find a ton of really great soul food while you're in Mississippi. And some of those roadside stands will serve some of those things. Don't be afraid to stop at roadside places and get food. All throughout Mississippi, you'll see them everywhere on the back highways. It just, you're guaranteed like good home cooking, and you should absolutely do that. It's one of my favorite ways to eat, and just find something new and different and really tasty. So there are a ton of other things that you can get in Mississippi. Those are just some of my favorites and the things that come to mind first whenever we come here, and those are the things we eat first and foremost. But I do need to tell you, in Mississippi, service in restaurants tends to be a little slower than a lot of other places in the country. So bring your patience. But know that even though it's a little bit slow, people are going to be really, really friendly. You'll always have good service. I promise you, Mississippi, just every time I come here, I'm blown away by how welcoming and kind people are. It's a lovely, laid-back sort of place, and I always enjoy eating here and just spending time with locals, and absolutely talk to locals. Ask them where to eat, what their favorite things are, and you'll get some really good insight into like what they do here, whatever city you're in. There'll be some like regional things and stuff, so definitely talk to locals, make some friends, and enjoy your stay here in Mississippi. Bye.